What's going on, Jerome's? Unfortunately, the Minnesota Vikings season ended with a alleged 31-24 loss against the New York Football Giants. Historic U.S. Bank Stadium, Super Wildcard Weekend is what it is. And now it's time to be super honest. As we've been doing on Mondays, Tell the Truth Monday, we got 10 truths about the Minnesota Vikings. Next up, or first up, number one, the defense needs a complete overhaul. It does. Now, Donatel, yes, needs to go, which is actually point number two. That one is obvious, but also, I mean, talent-wise, on paper, it looks good, but speed-wise, communication-wise, chemistry-wise, it really just didn't work out this year. So I think that there is going to be, I mean, what's crazy is like 75% of this defense could be gone next offseason. Diesel Dalvin Thompson is a free agent. Danielle Hunter could request a trade. Za'darius Smith could be a cap casualty, even though he had a great first year. Hicks and Kendricks could be gone. Patrick Peterson might not be re-signed. Harrison Smith also could be cut. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot going on this defense. I mean, like, who's guaranteed to be back and starting next year? Asamoah? Duke Shelley? Maybe? That's really about it. Cam Beasley? Harrison Phillips, probably. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of upheaval on this defense. And frankly, it's needed because Donatel played too passive of a game. But also, you know, in the back of your mind, are you wondering, did he not have the personnel to be able to play more aggressive? I disagree with that premise, but I understand where it's coming from. But overall, I mean, the defense, especially in coverage, they were slow. It was miscommunications. It was busted coverages all over the place. The Vikings giving up yards and points and explosive plays all over the place, and it was tough. It was tough. Just when the offense got its ish together, the defense, the defense has been bad the last couple of years, so whatever. Number three, Jefferson needs help. So Justin Jefferson, 1 catch, 4 yards in the second half against the Giants. Yeah, Adoree Jackson trailing him, getting doubled and triple teamed. And we've seen it with Jefferson where he can obviously put up monster numbers, but sometimes he can get clamped down. And it's not so much on him. It's just, hey, it's really tough to beat double and triple teams. And the reason why defenses were fine doing that is because, I mean, besides Hockenson, I mean, who are you really scared of? Are you scared of Thielen anywhere except for the red zone? KJ can certainly make plays, except he wasn't getting quite the time of day, even though all he did was make plays in clutch situations. So, I mean, Jefferson does need that Batman to his Batman. Hell, two Batmans. The Robin to his Batman. Now, I think KJ could grow into a very nice wide receiver too, but you need that extra option. Like, you need that speed option. You need, what Jalen Reagor was supposed to be. Like, you need that young guy. So I think the Vikings should definitely go looking in the draft for a potential playmaker and difference maker at the wide receiver position. I don't know. Maybe a guy like Jameson Williams or Christian Watson. I don't know. Just talking out loud. Next up, truth number 4. Hockenson, absolutely the trade of the year. So basically, the Vikings, for the draft chart value of a third-round pick, picked up TJ Hockenson. And you could make a good case right now that TJ Hockenson is the best tight end in the National Football League, not named Travis Kelce. It's kind of crazy, but it is true. And you can tell that him and Kirk Cousins have that chemistry. I mean, Cousins and Hockenson basically dragged the Vikings kicking and screaming back into this game. And I mean, the defense only forced 2 punts for the Giants, by the way. It's not good. It's no bueno. But, I mean, Jefferson got some work early, but then he sort of disappeared in the second half. But Hockenson and Kirk were dragging this team along. I think Hockenson needs to be extended. He's going to be playing on his 5th-year option next year. They need to take care of him because it's going to be JJ and TJ. That's going to be your 1-2 punch. That's going to be your Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce prime time when they were with the Chiefs. That's going to be your duo going forward. Next up, number 5. Kirk is entering his prime. I'll say this again. Statistically, maybe not so much in black and white stats, but this was the best season of Kirk Cousins' NFL career. Bar none. Bar none, man. Where, I mean, yeah, his interceptions were up, whatever, but in clutch situations, he got it done. 8 fourth quarter, come from behind, wins, game-winning drives. Tied for the NFL record for most in the season. And whenever Kirk needed a big play, he got it generally. Now, everyone's going to remember, the check down on 4th and 8, but who is he going to throw to? It was a piss poor play designed by O'Connell, so it is what it is. But Kirk and KOC are bringing out the best in each other, and I do think that Kirk has 2 or 3 good years left. And yes, the Vikings should consider finding the quarterback of the future, but the way that Kirk played this year under duress, career highs in sacks and pressures, I mean, it's just get this man some protection, get him some more weapons, get him a defense. Imagine what can happen. Next up, number 6. Awkward veteran decisions. Now, we're doing a video on this today about veteran cap casualties. Now, the Vikings are up against it cap-wise. They're around 8 million, 9 million over the projected cap. But, of course, hashtag cap is a myth. But, I mean, a lot of veterans, a lot of legendary Vikings. We're talking like future Ring of Honor guys, looking at Harrison Smith and Adam Thielen. They could be gone. And it's really weird to say, but a bunch of these guys may have played their last game in purple, especially Kendricks, especially Dalvin, especially Thielen, maybe Harrison, maybe Za'Darius, pending, definitely Jordan Hicks, maybe CJ Ham. And it really does suck, but it is what it is. The business is the business. Next up, number 7. Kwesi's going to go Thanos on this roster. He is. Where you saw what Kwesi did with Spielman's 2021 third-round draft class, just like that, right? Everyone except for Patrick Jones second sent. But the Kwesi, I think what his thinking was is that, hey, this team underachieved last year at 8-9. There's still some talent there. Cap-wise, we can get through it. And, let's have one good shot right now with this veteran nucleus and see what can happen. And the Vikings went 13-4, won the division, hosted a playoff game. So, I mean, overall, I think you could say that was a win. But now I think Kwesi's going to come in. He's got his footing under him. He's more confident in year 2. Well, hell, he's confident last year. I mean, swinging draft day trades in division with the Lions and the Packers, and then pulling off that trade for Hockenson in division at the trade deadline. So I think Kwesi's going to go full on, putting his stamp on the rooster, and I think that a lot of the veterans that we listed earlier are just going to be gone. Are just straight up going to be gone, racking up and stack up some cap space and go from there. Next up, number 8. Bonus rookie defensive class. Now, even though the Vikings are down a second-round pick because of the Hockenson trade, I mean, defensively, the Vikings are basically just going to get an extra draft class because Lewis Cine is coming back from his fractured leg. Andrew Booth Jr. will be coming back from injury. Brian Asamoah, who should have been starting all year, frankly, over Jordan Hicks, he's going to get a chance to start because Hicks and Kendricks may actually be gone next year. And he brings a speed element to the defense that was sorely lacking. Caleb Evans showed some flashes before he had 17 concussions. And then you have Asazio Otomewo, who played well in spurts, playing that 5-tech spot when James Lynch was out. So you have 5 guys in Cine, Booth, Asamoah, Evans, and Otomewo who are either going to be starters or high-level contributors, rotational guys on this defense. So I know everyone's clamoring they need some new blood on the defense, but a lot of the new blood is already there. Like, I'm not ready to give up on Lewis Cine. I'm not ready to give up on Evans or Booth or Otomewo or Asamoah or anyone. All right, so I think that's something that's going to be factored in because maybe the Vikings, maybe they add some pieces in the trenches in free agency, and then they go ham on offense in the draft if things break their way, and they're kind of good to go on defense, or not. I don't know. Lastly, we got 2 more. Next up, number 9, stick with the 3-4 defense. Now, I don't think that O'Connell is married to the idea, especially since the Vikings are sort of stuck personnel-wise in between the 2 schemes, right? So if Danielle Hunter stays, I think they should go back to a 4-3. I think, honestly, if I'm Danielle and the Vikings are sticking with a 3-4, I'm asking for a trade because him as an outside linebacker dropping back into coverage, it's not his thing. It is not his thing, and they wasted a year of his absolute prime, and it really does suck, man. But if they go back to a 4-3, I mean, that's fine. Basically, they have the personnel. And what sort of annoyed me about the move to a 3-4, I mean, outside of signing Za'Darius and Jordan Hicks, they didn't really have the pieces for it. All right, so Harrison Phillips is not a true 1-tech or a 0-tech as a 3-4 nose tackle. The Vikings didn't really have any true 5-techs. I mean, Diesel Dalvin Thompson was fine, but you saw how the Vikings' run defense simply got shredded. Kendricks, there's a big difference between playing a 4-3 middle linebacker or a 3-4 inside linebacker, even if you're playing the Mike. It's really a lot different. And, of course, Danielle is playing out of position. They didn't use Harrison down in the box as a de facto extra linebacker like they had in previous years under Zimmer. So, I don't know. Like, if Pettin stays involved, maybe they do. Frankly, I think Pettin should have been the defense coordinator from the get as opposed to whatever Donatel was. Or, hell, I actually think what happened is O'Connell wanted some taste of Vic Fangio, except Fangio wasn't coaching this year, and so they just hired Donatel, who was Fangio's toady. You're 0% as aggressive as Fangio. or something like that. Lastly, number 10, Kevin O'Connell will win a Super Bowl in Minnesota. I firmly believe that. I think that he is a solid leader. I think he will learn from this season that he was too passive on the defensive side of the ball. I think that he will get aggressive. I think that the locker room loves him. I think that he's a solid offensive strategist. And also, I think that he's humble enough to admit his mistakes, take ownership of them, and learn from them. So I think that he's just going to continue to grow and show as a head coach, and I think that he is going to be the guy, Kwesi is the GM, that will eventually lead the Vikings to a Super Bowl, even with the NFC North getting extremely tough next year. Guess what? The Vikings are going to be tough next year as well. But that's it. That's 10 truths on Tell the Truth Monday. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.